Well, let's just have another check on those teams for you. One of the Spurs changes from that Barcelona game in goal with Vormin for Gazzaniga. Three of the back four are different as well, with Ayoma, Sanchez and Giorgio coming in. As I mentioned, Lamela and Sissoko not risked. Llorente had an enjoyable stint for an Italian side in the shape of Juventus and scored against AC Milan during his time with them. He's partnered by Lucas Moura. So Tottenham Hotspur get this game against AC Milan at the International Champions Cup underway here in the city of Minneapolis in Minnesota. Spurs in the white shirts, kicking from right to left as you look at it. And alongside me for this one is Clive. Alan Clive, it's Spurs' final game of the tournament. AC Milan playing in their second match.
The start of the season not too far away.
There is Mauricio Pochettino. He says it's fantastic that Tottenham are holding their pre-season in the United States, especially for the younger players like Cameron Carter-Vickers, Oliver Skipp, Luke Amos and Anthony Giorgio, all of those...
certainly the young contingent.
Gennaro Gattuso says that he's expecting in just over a week's time. Read into that what you will, maybe it is another carrot to dangle in front of the youngsters. That's been dangled towards Llorente and is eventually guided all the way back to Reina by Calabria.
Well, the predicament he has is obviously those World Cup players are going to be...
Chance for Calabria to stretch his legs. Early delivery in, good dummy as well. Well, fooled everyone really. Here's Suso, who scored a very nicely taken goal against Manchester United last time out to level the scores after Alexis Sanchez had given United the initiative. And speaking of initiative, really taken there by Milan. First real attack for them was on loan at Milan from Sunderland last season and really endeared himself to them, joined permanently over the summer as a result of his performances. Giorgio's just driven that too close to Pepe Reina, another player who was signed terms with Milan over the summer, joined on a free from Napoli. Çalhanoğlu, ambitious, but he's pulled it off. Here's Suso. It was a dangerous ball in and was very nearly tucked in. Çalhanoğlu arriving. In fact, it wasn't Çalhanoğlu, it was Kutrov.
Well, that's the ability that Suso has. Cuts back onto his favoured left foot, whips that cross in. Cutrone throwing himself at it. Just can't get a toe. Just needs some sort of touch on a cross of that quality to finish it off. It was a bright move from Lamb. The best passing sequence that they've had.
Yes, especially with Kalinic not really firing and the disappointment that they've suffered as well with Andre Silva following his big money arrival as well.
Good early cross at Marte, just taking a little bit of a chance trying to...
Kessie. Suso. It's another good whip delivery, and Davinson Sanchez in the right place for Spurs, and in the right place to hit it was Franck Kessie.
Yeah, snatched at it a little bit, Kessie. It came to him very, very quickly. It was a clearance, popped out to him on the edge of the box. Suso again cutting back on his favoured left. Sanchez just getting the challenge. It's Amos with a poor clearance in the end. Guess they can't keep that strike down. First chance of a sight on goal. This has not been of the quality that they would be hoping for.
Nice bit of skill there from Skipp, but just ran out of pitch in the end. In the last game?
Yeah, 17 years of age. He was really bright, enthusiastic in the second half against Barcelona. Not lacking confidence. A young man with a lot of ability and a big future ahead, I'm sure.
Compared to their European counterparts such as AC Milan, with the transfer window closing on the 9th of August and the door very nearly closing on AC Milan's clean sheet there.
Well, Amos closing really, and he's just a fraction away from towing that Reina's pass in a dangerous position. Amos nearly picking the pocket and opening the scoring, just towing that ball wide.
Very close shave for Milan, and now they're going up at the other end with Cutrone. Suso was screaming for it and gets it now. Suso, unselfish, brilliant save from Vorm to deny Cutrone. Best that we've seen from Milan so far.
It was, and it came from the chance at one end quickly. They swept up to the other. You can see here, he's trying to get that touch with the outside of the left boot. Slight miscontrol, but stands it back up for Cutrone with a header. Good save from Vorm.
Came through the ranks at Milan, having joined their academy at the age of just 9, Cutrone, and well, he really endeared himself to the Milan fans even more against Inter in the Coppa Italia in December. Bright future ahead of him based on his breakout season last term with those 18 goals.
Early stages.
That's not an ideal back pass, and Reina, well, in the end, did enough. So there's no flag.
It was a late flag, Mark, it really was.
He's also about as close as he could possibly get to the assistant ref. Kessie, Suso, danger here, drilled in, and it just needed a touch, and neither of the two players in red and black could provide it.
Well, as Cutrone ends up in the back of the net, and he can't quite believe once again that he hasn't got the right footy cross this time from Suso through the 6-yard box.
That's a really loose pass that has opened the door for Tottenham from Calabria, and it's been buried quite brilliantly. Well, what a strike from George Kevin Nkudu, who scored in the last game and has rifled Spurs in front early in the second half of this one.
With such a sloppy pass across field, Nkudu picks it up. He's then one-on-one. Muchacho, and he just moves it quickly to the left side. He can't get across the block. Donnarumma, his first touch, his fingertips into the roof of the net. Wonderful start from Spurs at the beginning of this second half.
Well, George Kevin Nkudu's goal ultimately proved in vain against Barcelona, as Tottenham lost that game in a penalty shootout. But on this occasion, it has forged Spurs in front rather than hold them back level, and he's showed some good persistence there as well to force Donnarumma to send. Is Barini. Shahanulu holding off Lucas Moura. Thought about the shot, goes for it and forces a save out of Gazzaniga. Danger still not away. Kessie, and Gazzaniga with another save.
Well, too smart, Gazzaniga. Unlike Donnarumma at the other end, this is a very, very good stop. Well hit. So the
Cutrone, good strength, but also similarly good strength from Ioma, although the referee has deemed it to have been an unfair challenge. To me, I thought it did really well.
Well, he does, because he stays up and then he goes shoulder to shoulder with Cutrone. I think that's good defending. He's getting himself goal side. Cutrone knocks that ball out of his feet. A little bit unfortunate there, the young centre-half. Picks up a yellow card as well.
Well, that looked very harsh indeed. And there might be further punishment to come, because, as I mentioned earlier, Hakan Çalhanoğlu has a real wand at his feet when he gets into this kind of position. And it will be the Turkish international who will have a shy at Gazzaniga's goal with this free kick. Once, that is, the funny business in the wall has been sorted out.
There's about 12 players in that wall.
Çalhanoğlu! Oh, not far away.
Wonderful technique. All he doesn't get right is a direct up over the wall. Gazzaniga doesn't move. Just a yard wide in the end.
Just one goal and one assist in his opening 10 league appearances, and Nkudu in again out of nowhere. And again, Calabria is the guilty party for having presented the chance.
He just did not first, and this is a second. Doesn't look, great chance, he has time. The big frame of Donnarumma prevents Nkudu from extending Spurs' lead.
Yeah, he's very highly thought of, and as a result, speculation about Gianluigi Donnarumma is very commonplace, but the recently appointed sporting director at Milan, the former coach of their side and former player Leonardo, says that they haven't received any offers for the 19-year-old as yet, but if they did get a proposal, they would study it. So, not exactly warning people off him. Here's Çalhanoğlu, another gorgeous delivery from him, and Tottenham deal with it. Here is Donnarumma. Opportunity to find the net because he is about to be withdrawn. Fernando Llorente and Lucas Moura making way, and Son Heung-min and Christian Eriksen, the players to come on, both of whom scored at the World Cup for their nations. Christian Eriksen played every minute of Denmark's 4 games in Russia, scored a cracker against Australia in the group stage, and Son Heung-min, who got 2 of South Korea's 3 goals at the World Cup, who will also miss the first few weeks of the Premier League campaign because of the
opportunity is not for these players, and I've got to say they've stepped up to the plate. They've certainly performed and given the manager food for thought, which is exactly what he would have wanted.
Çalhanoğlu's delivery and Davinson Sanchez's clearing header. Locatelli and Antonelli back to Donnarumma. Oh, Donnarumma, that's risky. And Kudu, and Donnarumma makes amends after his own sloppy error almost presented Tottenham with a chance to wrap it up.
Yeah, he took a chance, Donnarumma, with a short pass. It was inaccurate. Kudu, with that exceptional pace, capitalised once again. Donnarumma having to throw himself to block the cross to make amends for his poor pass.
Eriksen thought about going short to Nkudu, but thought better of it. And it goes from the Dane. At a variety of youth levels for Italy, he wants to represent Argentina at a senior international level now. Did Mauri will be off to pastures new, as I mentioned, only 4 appearances for Milan last season. Halilovic went for glory, and fancy Milan might get one more chance. They will here. There's no flag. Antonelli for Kalinic. Oh, dearie me. What an opportunity to level the scores. And Antonelli made a complete hash of his pass, and he knows it.
Well, was that the...
Ambitious pass. Antonelli's up there. And Mauri! Very presentable chance for Jose Mauri there.